Hello, everyone, and good morning, and welcome to Wow Wednesday. I am your host, Nancy Matthews, one of the founders of Women's Prosperity Network, and today I am here with a longtime member, an amazing woman who is here to talk with us today and encourage us and inspire us and give us a framework for the heart's voice. And I've got hearts on my shirt today. I had to wear hearts if I was going to be with Gail and the heart's voice. And so today we're going to be having a conversation about the heart's voice, which is language to heal a wounded world. And we're so excited to have you with us. A couple of quick announcements, as always, in the wonderful world of Women's Prosperity Network. So first of all, I want to say kudos to everyone, all of our members who joined us yesterday for our coaching and connection call. I heard it was amazing and lots of great connections were made and advancement happened for all. So kudos to everyone who joined for that. Next, on the third Tuesday of the month, we've got our Networking with the Twist. On our fourth Saturday, we've got our Mastermind. So be sure to visit womensprosperityNetwork.com and check out all the ways that we are creating space for you to show up and share your heart's voice, as well as all of your skills, gifts, and talents. And with that, let me go ahead and welcome my dear friend, colleague, mentor, woman extraordinaire, Gail Dixon. So happy to have you with us today, my friend.
I'm thrilled to be here, Nancy. Thanks for asking me.
Yeah, you are welcome. And I love the mission that you're up to, the movement that you've started. I'm honored to be a part of it. And I'm looking forward to it expanding. So for everyone here today, let me tell you a little bit about Gail, and then we'll jump right in. Gail Dixon is a speaker, author, and a coach who guides people to hear and express the heart's voice that gives their life meaning and purpose. She is recognized as a top expert for speakers, thought leaders, and mission-focused entrepreneurs in creating messages that make an impact. So if you're listening in today or watching the replay and you're thinking to yourself, I've got this message on my heart and this work that I'm up to in the world, but somehow it's not quite landing the way that I hoped that it would, you're in the right place. As a leader of the Heart's Voice movement, Gail is committed to creating a future where the heart's voice is the universal language that heals the world. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you so much. Glad everybody is here joining us this morning. And I am noticing my voice is a little grovelly, so hopefully it'll get warmed up.
Yeah, and the voice may be grovelly, but the message behind it is pure and beautiful as always.
Thank you so much.
So let's dial into this whole concept of the heart's voice and how this movement, this passion came about for you. Share with our audience a little bit about that.
Okay. So, I've spent my career being a communicator and really using the power of words for all kinds of things. And I did a lot of that with other people's messages, training and technical assistance and professional development. And one day I was standing up doing the speech I was scheduled to do, and no words came out. I couldn't get my breath to speak. I couldn't, nothing was there. It turns out that my diaphragm, the muscle that makes your voice work, was paralyzed and it wasn't working. And I really had to do some hard thinking about what my life was all about. And as we are wont to do in situations and times of crisis and trouble, I did a little bargaining with God, universe, source, whatever you want to call it, realizing that if I ever got voice to speak again, it would be my voice that I was sharing, my message, my impact on the world. And as that evolved, and as I healed and came into, retired from my job working for other people's agendas and built my business, I did a lot of writing for other people and voicing. and really didn't quite land there. And then what I realized was that I went to a workshop and we were supposed to fill in the blank after the words I am. And what I wrote was, I am the heart's voice. And boy, that did not come from my head. Thank you very much.
That came from
It didn't even come necessarily directly from my heart.
you.
That came to me from source through my heart and out through my pen. And what I knew was that all my life I had believed in the power of words. I'd seen the impact that words could have. And it was my job to be the spokesperson for the value and the power of words. And not just any words, but words used well. Words used for good, for hope, for healing, for connection and creativity. And I looked around me and saw that I was in a world where so many people didn't use words that way at all.
No.
They used words to destroy and divide and demean people. They used words to judge and to separate. There were words of anger and hatred and fear and lack and distress. And I realized, oh, somebody needs to right the balance here. Somebody needs to pull people together to say, as human beings, we have this tremendous power. Whatever you call a divine being beyond you has gifted human beings with a gift that other creatures don't have. And it's the gift of language, the gift of communication. And it is our divine contract to use that gift in the best way possible. And I know that each of us has a spark of that divine gift inside us, whispered into us at the moment we were created. And we spend our lives trying to live into and express and share and embody that gift.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the world conspires against us about that. You know, the other voices drown us out. People contradict what we know in our hearts. People tell us that our message isn't worth hearing. And so I'm here today to stand for the power of language and stand for everybody here who wants to use the power of language to take their message with a meaning out into the world. Mm. And I want to take just one more second, Nancy, and then I'll let you get in because I'm on a roll here.
Keep going.
It's important for me to say that not everybody is going to share their heart's voice on a platform and from a podium. We share our heart's voice in our day-to-day lives, in our relationships, in the way we live our values into the world. And so you may share your heart's voice through your art, through singing, through the way you nurture a child, through the care you give to an aging parent. You're still expressing that heart's message, expressing through that voice of love and that language of love. So don't think that you have to be a Gandhi or a Martin Luther King. Don't think that you have to be even a Gail Dixon or a Nancy Matthews. All you have to be is the best you, in touch with that spark of divine love in you and the particular way that you share it with the world.
That is so beautiful. And I'm grateful that you added that last piece, because that's how we heal the world. Yes, the bigger messages and the impact that will change, and we want to have a shift in the way that's showing up. And it's that old trickle down theory and the trickle up theory. We've got to take personal responsibility in our lives and our interactions, And if you've got a message to share, that's and a platform to share it on, go for it. And what's most important is how we use language in our daily lives, both about ourselves, about others, and about what's possible. And the heart's voice is the language of love.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, if you think about how many words you hear in a day and the proportion of those words that are less than loving, you'll understand why it's so important to speak from that voice of love. And it's about really shifting our collective dialogue, really shifting our community and global culture so that the prevailing dialogue and the prevailing tone of dialogue, the way we speak and listen, comes from that space of love rather than from all those other spaces that are less positive and less fruitful.
So let's we're going to talk today about how to identify your heart's voice message. And Gail has a framework called the Name, Frame, and Claim It. So we'll get there in a moment. And while we're on this piece of the conversation about creating this shift and this healing in the world through the language of love, I want to share something that I learned, and you may not know about this. There's a movement called the calling in culture versus the calling out culture. And the to be able to, for us in our daily interactions, to shift from whatever judgy kind of thoughts or things that we think this is wrong, and go directly to love could be too far of a leap. Mm-hmm. So one of the things, and I'd love your take on this, one of the things that I use myself is when I notice myself mentally disagreeing with or having, negative thoughts about something, my first leap from that negativity, the first step is to get curious. I get curious about, well, why am I thinking that? Why could they think that way? Like, how could just getting curious? And that's what calling in is about. Instead of calling out, blah, 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 I'm calling in to learn more. Can you speak to that piece of it? Because it can be
I can. And it is about calling together rather than pushing apart. Mm-hmm. And I have a phrase that I use, and I learned it when I was studying drama and in improvisation. But it's very useful in conversation and in day-to-day life. And that is a simple shift. If we listen to somebody and we say, yes, and present an alternate opinion or an alternate point of view, rather than yes, but. When we say yes, but, we create the headbutt. We create the conflict. We counter and are diminishing. It's like, yes, you say that, but this is what's important. If we say yes, and we make room for both perspectives. And isn't that what we wish were happening in our public dialogue? Absolutely. On any number of issues, is we don't object to someone having a different opinion than ours. We object to somebody thinking that there isn't room for our opinion in the room. And we don't want to be the people that don't make room for other people. So instead of saying, who am I separate from? Who am I pushing out of my space? Mm-hmm. It's who am I welcoming? Who am I calling? Who am I? The calling in rather than the calling out. Yeah. And you would be surprised that creates a ripple. We rise to and follow what's the prevailing tone in the room, what's the prevailing dialogue, what's the prevailing culture. When we're in a room of positive people, we get positive. Mm-hmm. When we're in a room full of negative people, it's easy to add our negativity. and much harder to stand up and be the voice for positivity.
Yeah.
So that's what the Heart's Voice movement is all about, is we are calling in everybody who would use language, love, and listening in positive ways for good in the world.
Love this. I love this conversation. And one of the things that is common for all human beings is we do want more love. Like we all wish we could just operate from love all the time, but what about this thing and that thing and this person? Like that's what gets in the way. And this approach that you just gave to us, but so yes, and those people think that way. And here's how I think, and let's get curious in that space and call in for a bigger conversation. I love that.
Right.
Oh, I know we're going to have so many comments when we will open up, but we'll do that in a few minutes. First, I would love for you to share two things. So I'm just going to give you the floor, my friend. I want you to first share the calling upon your heart to share this Heart's Voice message and create the movement. And you also created a national holiday. So let's talk about that.
Okay. So I, as I was trying to figure out, like, where do I even start creating this ripple? Where do I start calling in? I thought about all the things that are celebrated in the world. And so many of them have a national holiday. And my goodness, if we can have a National Donut Day and a National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day, why don't we have a National Claim Your Voice Day? A voice that celebrates people speaking out and speaking up and using their voice for good in the world. And I applied to the national name calendar and didn't hear anything back and didn't hear anything back and prompted and didn't hear anything back. And so I put my money where my mouth is. And I just decided last year that we were going to have National Claim Your Voice Day. And so we did. And
Yes.
so this year, we are doing the second annual National Claim Your Voice Day on Friday, May the 19th. So just a couple of weeks away. And on that day, we will really be inviting folks. I'm inviting you, any of you who have a message for good, to come and share the platform and raise your voice in our loving, supportive container in the day that's meant to celebrate that. And if you click on the link that Nancy has put in the chat, there'll be a way for you to register to get 1 minute of podium time to share what your voice is calling you to say. Now, it takes getting it down to a pretty concise message to do 60 seconds. But that is exactly what it takes to be able to get people to listen. The truth is, the attention span in the world isn't long these days.
Yeah.
And once you get people's attention, you can talk to them a while longer. But you need to get their attention in that first sentence, that first, this is what I'm about. This is what my heart is calling me to say, before you are able to have a longer dialogue. So we're going to invite as many people as we can get to come and share their message, and invite the rest of you to come and hear those inspiring and compelling messages, because you don't often get a chance to hear so many positive, wonderful voices all at once in one place. You know, sometimes you can hear a lot of people, but you have to sit for 3 days in a summit, which is wonderful, but we don't always have 3 days at 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
So here you go, and you're going to be able to hear people in a shorter span of time. And anybody who has a message, and again, if it's just, this is the credo I live by, and I want people to know that this is who I am, that message is just as important as what the world needs now is. So make sure that you're there.
Beautiful. Let me go ahead and I'll share the link. I'll tell everybody what it is. So go to heartsvoicemovement.com/event. heartsvoicemovement.com/event. And in a commitment to this movement, this mission, and the ripple effect, I want you to all imagine where everyone is sharing their heart's voice message in an open space on May 19th. What's the ripple effect of energy and love that's being expanded into the universe? And there will be people there who need to hear your message because maybe it will align with what they're up to. And now you can have a bigger impact collectively. So Gail, oh my goodness, is hosting this event and giving you this opportunity to create this shift. And the investment for this is a gift from Gail. So there's no fee to attend. What I would request is that when you register, commit to showing up. Sometimes we'll sign up for things and they're like, oh, maybe, but commit to showing up. And you're not showing up just for Gail or me or the other people that are going to be there. You're showing up for your heart's voice being amplified and shared and filled with the other inspiration. So go ahead and register at heartsvoicemovement.com/event.
Thank you so much, Nancy.
You're welcome. We have a few minutes left before I open up for Q&A and comments and all that yummy stuff. I'd love for you to share quickly if you could, and I know it's a much more involved process. You created this name, frame, claim framework about your heart's voice message. Could you dive into that for a few minutes?
I sure can. So the first thing, obviously, that we have to do to be able to share a message is to figure out what the heck it is. We have to find what is that thing that's sitting in our hearts, asking to be expressed into the world. And that's the name it portion, because when we name something, we give it identity and purpose. And, you can go inside and find that in any one of a number of ways. However, you get quiet and find your deepest self and really find the kernel, the spark of truth that you're meant to share, and give it a short name, like for me, language can heal the world. That's the piece, or everyone's voice matters. That's that message. And once you have that name, then you have to own it. You have to embrace it and own it and declare it your own, so that you give yourself permission to share it and take it out in the world. It doesn't just sit inside you. That's the framing part. That's deciding who needs to hear it, what language to frame it in, what context. It's the context. So the first part, the name part, is an I part, and it's about content. What's the essence of it? The second part, the frame part, is the you part, the you, me to you. And that's about what language will you hear? How do I get your attention? How do I make the connection and make it relevant to your life? For example, I taught a class Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday mornings to engineers, a speech communication class, because they wanted to hear that, And I presented all the speech and language theory as formulas, because the engineers were used to finding the formula, writing down the formula. How does the formula work? That was framing it. It was framing it in their vocabulary, their vernacular, and putting it in a context that they could relate to and understand.
Can I dial in on that for a second?
You may.
One of the things that I've observed happens is if you're sharing your message and it's not landing the way you thought it should, it's not necessarily the essence behind your message, but it's this framing piece. Like learn to be able to frame your message in such a way that you're kind of translating it into the way that particular audience needs to hear it.
Right. And, you know, in the business world, when we do that, we talk about knowing your customer and identifying your customer's needs and problems. You know, so you don't frame your services in what you deliver, you frame your services in what your customer needs and wants. It's the same kind of principle.
Yeah, so good.
And then the claim it piece is really then determining to share it and create an impact with it. So that's, you know, if you're advocating for a cause, it might be going out and speaking it to legislators and people in power, or going on the media. It might be as simple as a teacher telling her kids in her classroom, you matter. You matter. And this is how you matter to me. But claiming it is living into it and making its mark in the world. And when we all do that, what we're all doing is depositing that love and those positive messages into a great communal container, which to me is that one great unity, that one great love. My metaphor is that, you know, source scattered starshine into all the hearts of all the people in the world, one little piece. And that we grow back into that collective starshine, that divine love, that divine community, by taking that starshine in, owning it, polishing it up, making its edges smooth, making it shiny and attractive, and sharing it back into the world. So we come back together in the great union that we're meant to be. So
good. And using this language of love to transmute us, transform us from feeling anything less than that. Whether it's about ourselves or about others, that's what's going to bring us together, is being able to come from love. And it takes practice. It takes surrounding yourself with other people. As you said, I know for me, like if I get in a room and people are like, rah, 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 I could go there, but does that feel good to me? Right. And sometimes it does, but it doesn't have a good lasting effect. And being able to be the one to bring that love and light into a conversation takes a little bit more effort, and it takes practice. That's why we want to be in that space.
Yeah. And you know, the really wonderful thing is that if we surround ourselves with people in that same vein, when it's hard for us to hang on to the heart's voice, when we begin to feel shaky about our message, shaky about ourselves, shaky about whether the world is taking in the message, we have other people there to shore us up.
Right. That's where the community really.
That's where the community
comes into play. Yeah.
Happens. Right. Exactly.
I love it. All right. Well, let's do this. I want to open up so that you can ask questions, have comments, insights, and ahas for the beautiful Gail Dixon and the Heart's Voice movement. It'll take me a moment to make all that magic happen. So you'll be, if you're on the computer, just raise your hand and unmute yourself when I call on you. If you're on the phone, you'll hit *6 and I'll be able to get you in there. And Gail, let's talk a little bit about when they come to the event, because this is big. I don't think I've seen somebody do this before, where this event is being created so that everyone can share their heart's voice. So there's a structure to it and a template. So can we talk a little bit about the formula that they'll follow for sharing their message?
We can. So we're giving you a template to follow. And it goes something like this. share your name. So I'm Gail Dixon from the Heart's Voice movement. And the next sentence is, my heart is calling me to share, or I'm on a mission to do this, or to make people understand this. And the last part of that template is, so that this can happen in the world. So I'm Gail Dixon. I'm on a mission to get people to use language and listening for positive change, so that love can become the universal language. 60 seconds, that was probably less than 60 seconds. So it gives you some room to elaborate, because your message might be a little longer, and we want to give you that space. So when we come together that day, we'll do a little bit of introduction, we'll do a little bit of teaching, and if you have, as you register for the event, you'll be given the option to ask for platform time and to commit to using the template, so that I know that you're going to structure that way. And then when you come to the event, we'll give space to everybody who has asked for space within the space and time that we allow. And we, of course, will have the recording of you from the Zoom. And so we'll also then be able to share that message in the Heart's Voice Movement Facebook group, which, if you haven't joined me there yet, go and join us in the group, and to continue to share your message and your movement. So
beautiful. And once again, go to heartsvoicemovement.com/event. Join us on that day. Celebrate National Claim Your Voice Day, and celebrate you and your heart's voice message. So let's open up. First person I saw raise their hand is phone number 202-491. Good morning. Your line is open. 20. There we go. You can hit *6 on your phone. You should be able to unmute yourself. Not quite yet. So let me go to Laura Barker. Oh, wait, there you are, 202.
Oh, okay. Good morning. This is Carolyn McCollum in Washington, D.C. I was trying to find this Heart Voice, H-E-A-R-T, voicemovement.com. I tried that and it's...
Yeah, it's hearts with an S. So many hearts. The Heart's Voice Movement.
No apostrophe. Don't.
Okay.
Make sure there's no apostrophe.
Okay. All right. I will try that. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Carolyn.
Thank you for asking, and we look forward to having you join us on that day.
Okay.
Fabulous. All right, Laura Barker, you're next.
Good morning, Gail and Nancy. Oh my gosh, two of my favorite people. You know, what I really want to emphasize for everybody listening in this morning is that Gail has really a unique skill. I've had the honor and privilege of being on one-to-ones with Gail and getting her insights into my own messaging. And it is powerful, folks. So here's what I want to suggest. And Gail, tell me if you think this makes sense. That come prepared to this event with what your best message that you can put together in 60 seconds. Because if you come prepared, Gail can help you that much more. And here's another really cool thing that we've learned from WPN is repurposing. So Gail just told us we're going to get the recording, right? So come with your best message. Gail's going to guide you. You're going to use this template to create something amazing. And then you can repurpose it and share it all over and get your message out to more and more. What do you think, Gail?
I think that's exactly right, Laura. And we will not have time to workshop everybody's message on the event, but that if we have your message, you'll get feedback.
And what a beautiful thing that's going to be, because you can just immediately turn that feedback into and repurpose it yourself. Absolutely. Even if you don't get workshopped, you're going to get the guidance you need for that amazing message. Thank you so much, Gail, for everything you're doing. And guys, this is free. Are you kidding? What? Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Gail.
Thank you, Laura.
Love it, love it. Laura read my mind in terms of repurposing those snippets. You definitely want to share them. Like, take that video, get somebody to edit it and put it on your Instagram reel or your Facebook reel, put it on TikTok, create a short, like, this is you and your message and what you're here about to share. We talk about everybody contributes, like we're all part of this fabric and tapestry of the universe. You talked about that before, this oneness of us all. And we need your voice. Like, really get that. We need your voice, your heart's message. So do join us. Go to heartsvoicemovement.com/event. Let's open up for Cheryl. Good morning. Your line is open.
Good morning, Gail, and good morning, Miss Gail, Nancy. I'm excited to be able to hear Gail again. She is just a beautiful soul, and we learn so much from her every time we get to visit, and I'm privileged to be in a small group where I get to be with her very often. But I can't say enough about take advantage of this time that you're going to get to be with her, because she has a lifetime of knowledge and skill that she can help each one of us to improve the way we try to claim our voices. And she knows my voice is to stand up, speak up. Your voice needs to be heard, moms of special needs children. And so that is, a beautiful way of helping all of us, but we're each one in a different area. Gail is just, such a wonderful friend to all of us, and we appreciate it. Thank you, Gail, for all of the things you're sharing today. And thank you, Nancy, for having her own here.
Thank you,
Look forward
Cheryl.
to the 19th.
You are most
See you
welcome.
there.
Yeah, I look forward to being with you because I'll be there. I've got a message to share too. You probably knew. Thank you so much, Cheryl. Let's go next to Mary Jane Charles. Good morning. Your line is open.
Good morning, Nancy. Good morning, Gail. I love this. You were one of the first people I spoke with as a WPNer. I don't know if you remember.
I do.
And I still remember it very dearly. Anyhow, I am all signed up, and
Great.
I want to perfect this whole message I have. So who better than you? Thank you.
Oh,
Can't
wonderful.
wait.
I'll look forward to it.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Mary Jane. And your message is important in the work that you're doing. So come to this event. I'm so glad you're going to be there because as Cheryl said a minute ago, every single one of us has a different piece of the pie, that different, heart message that was placed in us that we're here to carry forward. And that's what this is about. Kudos, kudos.
Thank you.
Oh, so good. Please, Garrett, you are up next. Let's see if
There's some static.
Yeah, I'll fix that. Just give me a sec. Got it.
Gail, I just wanted to say, boom, when you said the framing and how you work with the engineers, oh my gosh, you gave them a formula, which is something they're familiar with. And that is just brilliant. And so for anybody listening that's on the fence about going to Gail's event, go, because if you can learn how to frame it like Gail did with the engineers, you'll succeed. And I'm super excited to join you and Nancy and just look forward to your event, Gail. Thanks for all you're doing in the world.
Thank you, Denise. I'm looking forward to seeing you there.
Beautiful, beautiful. Gail, there's a question in the chat and on Facebook, so let me take those. So Nicole asks if this is a live event, and yes, it is, right?
Yes, it is.
So we'll be getting together on Zoom from 2 p.m. to 3:15, 75 minutes is what we're shooting for here. On Friday, and it's Eastern, Friday, May the 19th, and then it will be recorded and all that good stuff. So yes, it's live. Second question, can people connect with you ahead of May 19th to discuss their message?
Briefly.
Okay.
The answer to that question.
do that? What's the best?
I can help you make sure that you're following the template.
Mm.
And if there's a word or two, but obviously I can't engage in-depth coaching prior to that event. So
I have a little idea. I don't know if you're going to like it, Gail, but
well, go for it, Nance. We'll see.
so what if I get the template and I want to get your feedback on it and I fill out what I think it is and I put it in your Facebook group? And then maybe you could just reply to my post or my message telling me if it needs a little tweak or something like that.
We could do that, although I'm not sure that, people may want the grand unveiling of their message on that day. But
Yep.
they could message it to me privately in Facebook and I can look at their template.
Okay, good. So first of all, join the Facebook group, which is called The Hearts Movement.
Hearts
Right?
Voice movement.
The
You didn't
Hearts.
say voice in there.
Yep, sorry about that. And I just put the link to the Facebook group in the Zoom chat, and it's also in our Facebook group. So join the group, and you could either share the outline of your template in there, or if you want to get, for feedback on it, or if you're not comfortable sharing it openly, you want to wait for the big reveal, go ahead and share it through private message to Gail. So the first step will be to join the Facebook group, The Heart's Voice Movement. And of course, register to join us on May the 19th. All right, we got more people in the house ready to chat with you. Let me go next to area code 305-308. Good morning, your line is open.
Good morning. I just want to say good morning to you, Nancy and Gail. I think this was just absolutely awesome. This is Doris Smith out of Miami, Florida, and I have truly enjoyed this morning. I will be traveling on the day of the event, but I believe I am going to make an effort to get back a little early so I can try to be a part of this event.
Beautiful.
Right.
Beautiful.
Great, Doris. Thanks. Thank you for joining us. And if you register for the event, we'll send you the replay. So if you aren't able to join us live, you can get the replay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Nice to hear your voice, Doris.
You too, Nancy. Thank you all.
You're welcome. All right, next up, Nicole, who I want to give a shout out to. Nicole, you're amazing on taking notes for us and detailing all of the conversations we have on Wow Wednesday. So thank you for that. And Nicole asks, what if you have two messages?
If you have two messages, choose the one that you want to put on the live event and let me know you have a second, and we'll workshop that one privately.
Very nice. You're so generous. Let's go next. Rita Thomas.
Good morning. Good morning. Hello, Gail.
Hi, Rita.
And, Rita Thomas. So I'm the funnel godmother coming to you from Knoxville, Tennessee. Gail, I just wanted to say that everything you're saying today really resonates with me because we have a lot of heart-centered business owners listening. I know we do. And being a heart-centered business owner can be a very lonely place because most people in business are a little hard driving, more about sell, what are the numbers? And we are the heart-centered ones. We're like, oh, gee, we're kind of in our feelings a little much. So you're giving us air to breathe. You're giving us approval and acceptance of the way we feel about running our businesses and being the heart for the person who needs our services. So thank you for that. I joined the Facebook group. I'm going to get you my message and I'm going to be on your event on the 19th.
Wonderful. I'm really looking forward to that, Rita. And thank you for recognizing that. One of the things that I'll own has happened for me. I feel like I just now am really getting the traction under me to do what I'm meant to do in the world. And I did a lot of back and forth. Nancy will tell you, the first time I went to the business of speaking class, Laurel Langmeyer was the guest speaker. Okay, well, if you know Laurel, you know that my style and hers are diametrically different. She is boom, 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 hard sell out there, strong, and she is beautiful in herself, in her element, whatever. But I thought you had to be Laurel Langmeyer or Tony Robbins to be successful from the stage. And I knew for sure I wasn't going to be either of them.
Mhm.
I speak more slowly. I don't have that physical energy. I'm not hard pounding, all of that. It stopped me. And the things that you sometimes learn is, as I started to learn about business, the folks who were, you're not credible unless you're aiming for $1 million in sales. There are some folks who are doing incredible, heart-centered, meaningful work in the world who may never reach $1 million in sales in a year. They might not reach $100,000 in sales. But if they're reaching the people they're meant to reach and supporting themselves and their lives and their families in the way that works best for them, that's what's important. And so to know that you can do it your way, and not only that, but if you do it your way, you're going to attract the right people, the people who most need you, who can make the best use of what you are offering, with whom you can be most comfortably yourself, and with whom the work also feeds you. Because I'm here to tell you that you will burn out if you persist in doing work that drains you all the time and never do work that feeds you. You were created to be a creature who loved life, all of your life. And that includes what you do to earn a living. So if your work doesn't feed you, find other work. Now, it doesn't mean, I'm going to tell you, doing the billing and keeping the books is never going to feed you. But by and large, in the whole container of my work, doing this, having this conversation with you all this morning, is going to make my day all day. And that's, if you can be yourself, truly yourself, true to your values, true to your essence, true to the being that you were created to be in your work in the world, that's what it's all about.
Rita, thank you for inspiring that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
That was beautiful. So good. Thank you, Rita Thomas. Thank you, Gail. She just continues to pour into us. It's so amazing. All right, let's go to our next caller, Eves Ramirez.
Hello, good morning, wonderful people. How are you, my beautiful ladies? Thank you.
Good morning, Eves.
For this message this morning. And I sign up and I'm excited because, and I wanted to give you thank you because the evil voices or the wrong things or the chaos that is in the world right now, you have a loud voice. And this is like a refreshing air of positive and inspiration messages to elevate us all. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And thank you for saying that, because if all you get out of coming to National Claim Your Voice Day is respite from the ills of the world and just a moment to rest into a place where those voices are not pounding at you, that will be well worth your time. And that's
100%.
all you have to do. If all you want to do is come and receive, come and receive. We're open for you.
Yes, definitely I want to participate.
Okay, good.
beautiful. Thank you, Evie. So glad that you'll be joining us and sharing your message. All right, Barbara Ellison, I believe you are our next caller.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Gail, this is absolutely amazing. And Rita, right, spot on, because those of us that are the heart-centered, that we want to make a difference in the world, like I'm on a mission to make happiness the norm rather than the exception.
Woohoo!
And
Yes,
I
ma'am.
have been told, and it's just, that's been my mission for so long. And yet I have been told for years, Barb, people are not going to pay. People aren't going to pay to get happy. People aren't going to pay you to be, to help them to enjoy their life. Because that's not business. Well, it is so refreshing to hear this, that we that are this heart-centered, softer, that we want to make an impact in the world. That
And I
to
promise
hear
you,
the validation of it, that the world can change. So thank you so much. And I'm registered and going to be on and know what I'm going to say. So I'm
Great.
excited.
Great. And, you are so right. And, I promise you that framed the right way and aimed at the right people, there are people who are yearning for someone to show them how to be happy, because they've forgotten if they ever knew.
If they ever knew.
Right.
And they're spending money on things they're hoping makes them happy.
Right. Exactly.
Alcohol, drugs.
Exactly.
Other things. So whoever told you that, we need to circle back and
we're going to prove them wrong.
We're going to prove, thank you. We're going to prove them wrong, because 10 years ago, that's what all I heard when I first started. It was like, oh, Barb, people aren't going to pay. People aren't going to, you have to build business this way. And it wasn't me. So consequently, I wasn't successful, or I was just burnt out all that. I just felt always drained. It was like, this isn't me. This isn't how I want to do business. I believe that people, my thing is, I believe that people deserve to lead happy, healthy, financially free, abundant lives. Well, let's figure out how to do that your way, what you want.
Exactly. Because why would a loving, generous, benevolent creator who created all of the wonders that we behold have created us to be weighed down and miserable?
Exactly.
Why would that have happened?
So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
So good. Thank you, Barbara. I'm so glad that you're going to be there. And once again, register at Hearts, plural Hearts, heartsvoicemovement.com/event. And should we tell them the surprise that's going to happen that day, or should we wait?
Oh, let's keep it mysterious.
Okay. We got another surprise for you happening that day. So we're not going to tell you. Come on, you got to join us. Get over there and you'll find out all about it. So it's pretty exciting. Because this is a movement. Gail is leading us, guiding us through her heart's voice to share ours, so that we can all collectively use, create, and listen through language that will heal our wounded world. So beautiful. Gail, any final comments or thoughts?
Well, just thank you, everybody who came this morning and everybody who will replay this or see the replay on Facebook. And just please do come and join us in the group and join us on that day. And there will be many more opportunities for you to share your voice in the context of the Heart's Voice community. So if you're not quite ready, let's work on the name it part. Get yourself through the naming or the framing part. And if you're not quite ready to claim it, we'll get you there. Just come along for the ride.
So good. Thank you so much, Gail. Thank you to all of you who joined us for this event, this Heart's Voice experience and conversation today. Those who are going to be joining us, hey, do this too. invite people that you know, love, and care about. It's a free event. Pass on the link, get them to join as well. Until next time, this is Nancy Matthews at Women's Prosperity Network, hoping that all of you intentionally get out there and create a wow day. So thank you, Gail. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today.
Bye, everybody.
Everyone.